Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime Symbol. And today I'm going to be giving you part 4 of What If Naruto Had the adapting ability like Doomsday. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other what ifs over the other channels. Yes, I indeed have 5 channels which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. Links will be down in the description. Anime King 2, Anime King 3, Anime Symbol, and Anime Prince guys. So go ahead and check them out. I post a brand new series, What If Naruto Had the God of Speed Bloodline over on Anime King. So go ahead, check out that and enjoy. Remember to comment your ideas below and tell me if you're new as well so I can welcome you personally. So without further ado or wasting more time, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode? Begin now guys. So the last part that we left off, Naruto was in mid-battle with Sasuke and Sai, as the both of them were trying to stop him. He was going after the client. Sakura had told to run off by Sasuke with the client so that they would be safe. As Naruto took on the both of them, Sasuke tried to use fire but Naruto simply ran right through it. Sai tried to blind Naruto with his ink, which was a bit successful as it got into Naruto's eyes. However, his body adapted to movements around him. His senses were getting far stronger. Naruto then put in the work. Sasuke was blasted through several trees by him. Sai was knocked down rather easily. Despite him being far stronger than Sasuke at this level, it just showed how powerful Naruto was. Sai was surprised though as he looked at the enemy and saw the markings and the facial feature as well. It was something that his master talked about not too long ago. That is when Naruto heard something as he turned his gaze. Zabuza was in deep shit. However, Naruto arrived and blocked Kakashi from ending Zabuza. Kakashi was beyond shock as he said his name, Naruto. However, Naruto fired off several explosive stakes before he ran away. They got back to the hideout as the team made their way off with Kakashi when he collapsed. They got back to the house as well. Kakashi could not believe it of all the people to run into. It was Naruto. Kakashi was shocked when he heard that the boy had run away from the Hidden Leaf. He had been disappointed within himself as he felt like a failure once again. This was the legacy of Minato and Kushina, his own sensei, and he could not even keep the boy safe. And with the years passed and no signs of him, Kakashi feared the worst, believing that he was dead. However, that was not the truth. The boy was right here. It did not take too long for Naruto and the others to reach towards the hideout. Arriving there, Zabuza expected to be chewed out by Naruto, but it never came, as he told him not to get killed next time. With that, he proceeded to make his way off. Zabuza was confused as he told Haku to go after him, but she was already thinking about doing that anyway. When she found Naruto, she asked him what was wrong. He told her nothing at first, but he ended up telling her. In the past, he wouldn't have cared or abandoned what he was doing to save anyone, but now, he didn't want to lose either of them. It was a confusing feeling to him. Given that he had told her almost everything about himself so far, she could understand. He never had anyone looking out for him or someone that he had to look out for. It was always about him, but now that he was experiencing these feelings with different people, it was different overall. As Naruto felt the thought of losing her was scaring him, and he's never been afraid of anything before. So that was the weird part. Not even death, and now, the thought of losing the both of them scared him. She proceeded to hold his hand and told him that she didn't want to lose him either. With that, the time flew by really quickly. Kakashi sent word to Konoha by using Pakon. As a group was sent from the village, Harrison was shocked what he heard as he could not believe it. However, majority of the teams were on missions, but he believed that they would be enough. So with that, the group was summoned to go out there and find them immediately. And they made their way off, as he still could not believe what he heard. All this time Naruto has been alive, and he's been with another group of people. He just hoped that the boy has not gone too far, so that he could not return back to the village. But this was their chance. When the day finally came, as backup was there on the bridge, it was Team 8. However, Naruto and the others were ready as they split apart. Kurenai and Kakashi went after Zabuza while Hinata, Shino, Kiba, as they were after Naruto, while the others were protecting the client. And also, Sai and Sasuke was facing off against Haku. Naruto made quick work of the others as he showed that he was not messing around, but he see no reason to kill them, as he instantly took them down rather easily. He gave Kiba one hard punch. He went after Shino using his own bugs against him. Hinata tried to attack him with her gentle fist, but she soon come to realize that her chakra was not penetrating far enough through his skin, and she was rather shocked. His insides were rather strong and tough, and his body was layered with this confusing energy. Kurenai arrived as she tried to put a stop to him by using Genjutsu. However, his chakra was able to adapt to the dangerous form of her chakra, as she could not manipulate his mind anymore. She found herself grabbed by him when she tried to pick him up, as she was electrocuted and collapsed. Kiba tried to jump in, but Naruto knocked him down as he heard cackling. Haku made her way over to where Zabuza was, and her body reacted on instinct. She just reacted as she jumped in the path. She tried to save both herself and Zabuza, but Naruto knocked her away. The Chidori burst right through his chest. It completely obliterated his heart. Kakashi was frozen by that, as he pulled his hand away in shock as Naruto coughed up blood and collapsed. Haku rushed towards him, not hearing off the enemies on the bridge. She started to cry. That is when Naruto found himself in his mindscape. The fox said that he could not do anything because his chakra was not allowed to circulate through his body because of how Naruto's body was set. However, the fox told him that he was not going to die. He just had to remember himself. Remember who he is. The next moment got to arrive. He started to make a fuss as he was speaking about making sure that Haku pays as well. Everything was so chaotic as Naruto started to wake up, surprising everyone else. However, he did not wake up as Naruto. He woke up as a strange behemoth with muscles and strange spikes all over his body. He proceeded to massacre the entire group that Gato came with, including Gato as well. Haku tried to stop him, but he gripped her by the throat. However, she knew that he was not going to hurt her, and she was right. He returned back to normal moments later. He proceeded to destroy the bridge so they could get away. Kakashi and the others had failed to retrieve him, but the client was still alive though. They had to go home and report that to the Hokage after a month or so. However, sometime later, a peaceful day within Konoha, two individuals were seen running towards the gates. Kotetsu and Izumo were shocked when they saw it was a boy with a girl on his back, with strange purple markings all over their faces. So yeah guys, basically as left off, you guys can switch across the playset of yourself. So what do you say begin this new episode? It was pure chaos and destruction. Zabuza was lying on the ground. His bandage was soaked with blood. His hand came up towards his mouth as he ripped it off. He spat a lot of blood out of his mouth. Standing a few feet away from him, covered in blood as well, was Naruto, with strange purple markings all over him. It was poison. Naruto glanced, his eyes filled with rage behind Zabuza as he saw a few people making their way towards them. As Naruto was holding the unconscious Haku in his arms. "Run," said Zabuza. A stake came out of Naruto's hand. "I can't. You'll die." "Damn it, brat. Just run. Keep Haku safe." Zabuza screamed as he forcefully got to his feet. "Just get out of here and keep Haku safe. There's no reason for all of us to die together." As Naruto was clenching his fist tight, he looked down towards Haku as he saw her breathing was shallow. "Just go! Get her somewhere safe and get her some help. Now!" As Naruto didn't know what to do. However, looking back down at Haku once again, he took off as tears ran down his face. Naruto glanced behind him as he heard clashing before he saw Zabuza taking on the enemy, but what happened next? Meanwhile, in the real world, the nurse was currently looking down at the boy. He was in the bed. He was unconscious. That memory was a memory of what happened and why Naruto was currently within the hidden leaf. The doctors had told Hiruzen that he would be out for some time. The strange toxin in his system was a very deadly poison. However, his body was quickly fighting it off. But still, he wouldn't be awake for at least 3 to 4 days. The nurse moved forward as she saw him turning and twisting. That is when he reached and grabbed her hand. The woman was startled. As Naruto threw her, with just one hand she slammed into the wall. She was knocked out instantly. He jumped out of the bed. One kick and the door was blasted off its hinges. He screamed out. "Haku," he yelled. He did not seem to be in the right state of mind. Several nurses and doctors came down. As they tried to calm him down, bodies were thrown and flung all over the place. A wave of bloodlust and power started to resonate out of the boy. The corridor started to shake. Naruto ran, tearing everything down as he moved. Doors were blasted off the hinges. Doctors were thrown away. He searched every area until he came towards the isolation ward. Naruto rushed inside. He could feel her. As he proceeded to rush inside the room, the doctors and nurses all spun around towards him, but he did not care. He rushed to her side. "How is he awake?" one of them said in complete shock. They couldn't believe it. "Haku," said Naruto. As he looked towards her, she was covered in strange purple markings, purple veins that seemed to pump in her body. As there were several machines hooked up to her for reasons that he did not know. Naruto clenched his fists. The bloodlust that washed out of his body caused the nurse and doctors to collapse. It was just too much for them. "Damn it, damn it, damn it," Naruto yelled. She was not waking up. As he looked at the machines, he didn't know what the hell was going on with any of them. He did not know how to save her. As he clenched his fist so tight that he started to tear into his own palm as blood started to drip on the ground. He turned around as he saw someone standing there. It was a strange, old man in a robe. As he looked at Naruto, that is when Naruto felt something hit him on the back of the neck. He spun around as he slammed his fist forward into the anvil, blasting the man in the wall. Even Hiruzen was shocked as the anvil had just tried to chop Naruto in the back of the neck, but it did not work. That is when Naruto felt something placed on him as he spun around in his confused and delirious state. He saw another anvil went through hand sign as Naruto felt a searing pain on the back of his neck. The seal that the man placed on him activated. His eyes rolled back as he proceeded to collapse. Time skip. When Naruto finally regained consciousness, he tried to move, but his body felt strapped down. Looking towards his arms, he saw strange cuffs on his arms that were attached to the metal posts of the bed. His legs were also restrained as well. There was also something around his waist holding him down, and he felt so weak. The moment he woke up, the seal alerted who it was set to alert. It wasn't long before the Hokage came inside, seeing Naruto trying to break free from his binds. "Calm down, Naruto," he said. "You're safe. Everything is okay." "Who the hell are you?" Naruto asked. I'm Hiruzen Sarutobi, the Hokage of the village. I made it. I'm in the hidden leaf, said Naruto. Yes. You passed out the moment you arrive at the gate. Everything is safe. There is no need for you to hassle yourself up. That strange poison that we found is still inside of you. My doctors and nurses have no idea how we are even alive. So relax. Don't hassle yourself up. As Naruto tried to snap himself out of the cuffs and the restraint that was on him, he snapped his gaze towards the old man, who stepped in front of his line of sight. I need to get out of here. The only reason I'm alive is because my body is stronger than most. Haku, she's hurt. Hiruzen looked down. Look at me, said Naruto. Can't your doctors and nurse save her? If you do, I'll return back to the village. I'll do what you ask, just please. Save her, said Naruto. Hiruzen released a breath. The look on his face told Naruto all that he needed to know. I'm sorry. There's nothing that they can do for her. This poison is one that they have never seen before. It's so powerful. It's destroying her system as we speak. I know it's a lot, he said. But there's no need to lie to you in this case. They estimate that she won't be with us after a week. The machines are helping her. If you want to go and say your goodbyes. Hiruzen just decided to lay it out. There was no need to drag on the painful proceeding of him not telling him what was up with his friend. He could see how much Naruto cared for this girl. However, the poison was above anything that the current doctors and nurses can do. That is when Hiruzen heard something snap. He watched as Naruto tore the metal cuffs off, despite his chakra being restrained by the seals. He broke out of his bindings, shocking the old man. Naruto tore them off. I refuse, said Naruto. Hiruzen looked at him. I refuse to accept her death like this. There must be someone here that can help her. A look of recognition that Naruto saw. There is. Tell me, now. Unfortunately, Hiruzen said, she's not here. Where is she? Said Naruto. Moments later, Naruto stood by Haku's bedside. The machines and everything that was connected to her was keeping her alive. But the poison was still damaging her badly. And if she did not get help soon, she would die. Naruto turned towards Hiruzen. I need to find this Tsunade Senju. Now. Tell me, where exactly is she? I'll bring her back here by force if I have to. Unfortunately, I don't know the exact location. And I doubt that she would want to return back to this village. Damn it, old man, said Naruto as he turned towards him. You don't understand. I am not going to let her die when there's someone out there that can help her. I don't know you. And you don't know who the hell I am either. Just because I once lived here in the past. That was a long time ago. But I'm telling you this right now. If she dies because you're gonna give me some bullshit about not bringing back this woman, who is the greatest Megi to ever live, I'm going to kill you, said Naruto. The look in his eyes, Hiruzen just remained silent. And not just you, I'll kill every single one in this village. I'll burn this entire place down to the ground. I don't care if you're the leader here or not. I'm telling you this straight. If you don't give me what I need to find this woman, I'll kill you and everyone here. And I won't stop until everything is burned or destroyed. As Naruto was hyperventilating by this point, sweat was running down his face. The poison was still being burned out of his system by his body. However, there was a look in his eyes, a look of pure rage and hate. Hiruzen wanted the boy to come back. There is no one else that could properly contain the Ninth Tail. There is no seal master like Minato was. Not even Jiraiya could complete a complex seal like that. And he could tell it didn't matter if they brought Naruto back in this state. He would never work for any of them. He would never do as they say. He looked towards the girl lying on the bed, looking back at the look in Naruto's eyes. I'll see what I can do, he said, as he proceeded to leave the room rather quickly. Naruto proceeded to sit down beside Haku. As he clenched his fists, he proceeded to hold her hand with his other hand. Don't worry. Everything's gonna be alright. I'll find that woman, and I'll bring her back here. That's a promise. And I will avenge Zabuza. I'll find those bastards, and I'll tear them limb from limb. I promise you, said Naruto, as he held her hand. Time skip. A few hours later, Hiruzen had used the reverse summoning seal that he had in order to contact one of the toads that Jiraiya had left behind, just in case that he needed his help quickly. As he sent word to Jiraiya, which the toad delivered not too long after, Jiraiya quickly sent back word to Hiruzen on where he was and that he actually had a lead on Tsunade. Hiruzen came inside the room as Naruto had not moved. He was sitting there like a statue. Naruto snapped his gaze back towards him. It took you long enough, he said, as he walked over towards the old man. What is this? This is where you will meet up with one of my people, Hiruzen said. He has the location on Tsunade. However, her returning back to the village is a different case entirely. You don't have to worry about that. She will be coming back. That's a promise, said Naruto, as he took the map away from Hiruzen. If she is going to live, you're going to have to hurry. Hiruzen knew that Naruto will be coming back no matter what. This girl means too much to him, whoever she is. As Naruto turned his gaze, he proceeded to run off straight down the hall and leap. The window shattered as Naruto landed on a nearby roof. The tiling was destroyed as he ran barefoot, tearing the tiles with the back of his heel. He leaped to a nearby building before he dropped down on the street. Several people were blown away. Civilians, they were thrown as he rushed past them with blinding, superhuman speed. At the gate, Izumo and Katetsu saw something blaze by. The both of them were rather shocked. Time skip. Jiraiya was standing outside of a bar, as he could not believe what he was told. All this time he had been searching for the kid, telling his people to keep a lookout, and suddenly, he was now back at the village. However, they really needed Tsunade desperately, so he was waiting. As he looked towards the sun, he won't be here for another few hours, Jiraiya thought. That is when he saw something up the road, as a dust trail was being followed behind it. It wasn't too long before Naruto stopped in front of him. As he tried to catch his breath, Naruto proceeded to throw up. However, all that came out was a purple liquid. As he looked up, his face seemed rather sick. He wasn't tired. It was the poison that was still being burned out of him. If it was anyone else, they would be dead already without medical help. This poison belonged to a very, very dangerous man. He looked up as Jiraiya looked at the boy. You're him, the friend of the Hokages, is that right? Yeah, maybe you should know. Let's just go. Where is she? Are you sure about that, said Jiraiya. You don't look too... Damn it, said Naruto as he turned his gaze towards him. His razor-sharp teeth and his slitted eyes was a rather dangerous sight. Someone I care about is in critical condition, and if we don't find this damn woman soon, she's gonna die. So I don't want to hear it. I'm fine. Let's just go. Well then, try and keep up, said Jiraiya. As he took off, Jiraiya was surprised as the brat was keeping up with him despite the speed that he was going. However, it seems that they had no time to waste. It seems like someone very dear to him was rather badly hurt. Jiraiya did not want him to lose that person, as he could see that this was going to be a breaking point for this child. So they ran, and they kept on running, and they ran some more. Even when Jiraiya was getting tired, the kid was not slowing down despite how exhausted he seemed to be after a while. But he pushed through it. His body seemed to be just keeping up. Somehow Jiraiya did not understand. As they kept on running until Jiraiya heard a thud, as Naruto was face first in the ground. Damn it, he said as he pulled himself up. He looked down at his legs. What's wrong with you? Haku could die, he yelled at his own legs, as he tried to get up only for him to collapse and cough. More purple toxins start to leak from his mouth. Jiraiya stopped next to him. Listen, kid. You're gonna end up killing yourself if you keep on pushing yourself like this. This friend of yours. Were they given a time limit? 1 week, said Naruto. But this strange poison. It's killing her much faster. Wait. Is this it, Jiraiya said, looking towards the strange purple thing that he puked out. Yes. We were both poisoned. So how I'm special, said Naruto. That's all you need to know for right now. Then that's a problem, kid. Your body has not fully recovered from this poison. I don't understand. That old man had his people place some strange seal on me to restrict my movement and strength. But eventually, it wore off. My body was able to destroy it. And yet, I can't recover from some damn poison. Look, kid, if this poison is harming your friend and actually killing her, that means you should be dead. But as you said, you're special, right? You said we have 1 week. You need to rest, otherwise, you'll just be putting yourself in a condition where you won't be able to do anything to save her. Is that what you want? Of course not, said Naruto. So let's rest. Tomorrow. We'll be there by tomorrow. All we have to do then is convince Tsunade to come back with us. In any case, the Hokage would have sent me alone to do this. But I'm betting he's believing that with the case that you're having, you will somehow able to help me convince her to come back. But you should know, it's not going to be easy. It doesn't matter what I'll have to do. I'll get her back there. And that's a promise, said Naruto. The look in his eyes showed that he would never break that promise. Alright, let's rest for the night, said Jiraiya. Moments later, a campfire was set up as Naruto leaned against a tree. Jiraiya noticed that steam was rising from his body. Said steam was purple. The toxin was literally being forced out of his skin. He had no idea what the hell that poison was, but he watched as the toxin smoke went up in the trees. The leaves instantly died. Jiraiya was shocked. That was something truly deadly, and yet his body was so easily fighting it off. How special was this kid, he thought to himself. Why are you looking at me like that, said Naruto. Oh, it's just the toxin. It's being burned out of your body. As Naruto looked up towards the purple smoke. As I said to you, my body is special. How so, said Jiraiya. I don't want to talk about it, said Naruto. His tone was final, to show that he was not going to say a single other word about it. Alright then, I guess we can talk once we save your friend. We have to, said Naruto, or else no one will be safe ever again. Jiraiya gave him a look. What do you mean by that? I told your Hokage that if he did not give me the information about this woman, I would kill him and everyone within the village. Jiraiya was shocked to hear that coming from his mouth. But even if I did not want to willingly do it, there is something inside of me. Something dark. Something evil. I recently lost someone. And even now I can feel it crawling to the surface. I'm trying to deny it as much as possible, but the thought of losing Haku is trying to break free. And if she were to die, I'll lose every single control I have. Jiraiya instantly thought he was talking about the Nine Tails. And if that monster were to surface, everyone will be dead. Not just the village. Everyone. And I'll lose myself forever, said Naruto. In Jiraiya's mind, he believed that Naruto was speaking of the Nine Tails. But that was not it in the slightest that Naruto was talking about. Jiraiya decided to just leave that for later. Well then, I guess we'll have to find Tsunade quickly. Yeah, said Naruto. Time skip. They were back on the road once again, as they kept on running. And they ran. And they ran. Before they arrived towards the village, out of the Fire Nation. Jiraiya had heard rumors recently about a long week festival, casinos of the like, as he believed that Tsunade would be there, not to mention the rumors of the legendary sucker being around those parts, as that was her nickname. She really sucked at gambling. Jiraiya pulled out a photo as he showed it to Naruto. "This is her," he said. "So let's split up," he said to Naruto, as there was a bunch of people here. Naruto did not wait as he simply leaped downwards, making his way. The both of them searched the village. They went through, as they met up right at the bar. "No luck, huh?" said Jiraiya. "No. And I'm guessing that you did not find her either." Upon saying that, Jiraiya shook his head as Naruto pushed the door open. It slammed into a guy. The man was pretty pissed off. "Hey brat," he said, placing a hand on Naruto's shoulder. The man cried out as Naruto snapped his wrist and proceeded to kick him in the knee. A loud snapping sound could be heard. Jiraiya had to grab Naruto and push him away. "That's enough," he said. The poor man was crying on the ground, as Naruto scanned the bar until he saw eyes looking at him. Honey brown eyes. He quickly made his way towards her. The woman blinked as she looked at him. He was coming directly towards her. "I need you to come with me." "Who the hell are you?" said Tsunade. She had a bottle and few saucers in front of her. There was another woman there, but Naruto did not even see her. Well, his mind did not focus on her in the slightest. "We don't have time for this. There's someone I care about that is in a critical condition right now, and I need you to come with me to save her." "Sorry, but no," she said. "Can't you see I'm busy? Just go away." Tsunade raised the saucer to her lips as Naruto slapped it out of her hand. It knocked into someone. "Hey!" the man yelled. Naruto picked up the bottle and smashed it on the ground. He grabbed the end of the table and threw it across the room as it slammed into the wall. "Listen to me, woman," said Naruto. "You're gonna come with me now, or I'm gonna drag you the hell out of here." At the door, Jiraiya was tending to the poor man. That was when he had to duck, as Naruto was sent sailing over his head. "Lady Tsunade," Shizune said, "are you trying to kill him?" That brat was rude and deserved it. "Huh? Jiraiya? What are you doing here?" she said. Jiraiya looked behind him to see Naruto pulling himself out of the side of the building. There was not even a scratch on him. As Naruto stepped forward, he held up both of his hands as two stakes appeared. He fired them towards Tsunade. She moved out of the way until she noticed they were glowing. Oh shit. Boom! She was blasted out of the bar as she crashed on the road. Several people got injured in the explosion, but Naruto did not care in the slightest. Tsunade picked herself up. Those things sure pack a punch, don't they? The others had already moved outside to get out of the blast radius. Shizune was standing there as well. "Listen to me, woman. I'm not gonna ask again. Come with me, now, or else I'll forcefully drag you back to the village." "Jiraiya, who is this brat?" "Listen, Tsunade. Someone that he cares about is in real danger at the village. You need to come back." That makes it even worse. I'm not going back to the village. If you would have brought your friend to me directly, I might have healed whoever it is. However, you were such an ass. I would have probably not done it. But going back to that village is something I will never do. Naruto sighed as he looked away. "In that case, I'll just have to drag you back there myself." Do you really think she was cut off as Naruto rushed towards her? Tsunade ducked under his fist. She brought her own, but he slammed her hand into the ground with a tremendous amount of force. She felt tremors run through her hand. She was shocked as he kicked her in the face. She was sent sailing back. However, he grabbed her leg and lifted her up and slammed her into the pavement. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. In the 3rd time, she regained her senses as she slammed her foot into his chest. He was sent sailing away as he crashed on the ground hard. She leaped in the sky and came down, dropping a kick right into his chest. However, when it made contact, the ground exploded underneath him, but he had crossed his arms. Tsunade was applying a tremendous amount of pressure down on him, but surprisingly he was not moving in the slightest. The force had been channeled through him and gone into the ground. How was this brat so strong, she thought to herself. She jumped away. As he got up, she was behind him. Naruto turned as he was sent sailing. He was blasted straight towards the outskirts of the village, where he crashed into a rock dune. Looking up, he saw her, coming down, her leg extended, with a tremendous amount of force. Naruto jumped up in the sky and thrust his fist forward. He tried to blow her leg away, but instead his arm was smashed down under the force. As it slammed into his shoulder, his body was spiraling like a rocket. When he hit the ground, the entire landscape erupted. Tsunade landed on her feet. However, Naruto simply pulled himself out of the crater, but not without a few injuries. He grabbed his arm as he snapped it back in its post. Before he started to move it around, he then spat out blood out of his mouth. A lot of it. Listen, brat, you're not gonna beat me, so you might as well turn out. She was cut off as Naruto fired several stakes towards her. She dodged each and every one of them, even punching a few of them. That is when he slammed his hands together before he slammed it into his gut. A massive water bullet was shot from his throat. It tore the earth apart. Luckily, Tsunade had already moved. He kept on slamming his hand into his gut, firing water bullets out of his mouth until the place was soaked. She landed in the puddle. He slammed both of his hands into the earth where the water was. Electricity burst from his palms. Tsunade leaped up in the sky as quickly as possible though, getting away from his strikes. She was shocked when he turned and started to blast pure raw electricity towards her in the heavens. As she was falling, Tsunade released an obscene amount of chakra as she coated her entire body and spun. Her body was tearing through the electricity like a gig. As she arrived in front of him and slammed her fist down on his skull, his head slammed into the ground hard and broke it. Stand down, she said as she stepped away. However, Naruto pulled himself up. No, because if I do, she'll die, and I can't lose her. I can't lose anyone ever again. I can't, he screamed. His words hit Tsunade as she saw herself on the ground crying. A younger version and a bit older version crying. There were two bodies there, Dan and Nawaki. She was screaming and crying as she was trying to be consoled by the others, but it wasn't working in the slightest. They tried to help her, but it was failing tremendously. That is when Naruto started to lose control. He started to lose every ounce of himself as he started to remember the death of Zabuza. As he watched the man being torn apart in front of him, he remembered the smile on that man's face, that toothy smile, and the other one, relaxed and calm. He remembered their faces. He remembered all of them. He was gonna hunt them down and make sure they pay. But he can't lose Haku. He can't. As the thought of losing her started to run through his mind, Naruto's hands started to tear the ground apart. His eyes started to change, becoming soulless. His feet started to change as they started to turn monster-like. His skin started to turn pale. The spikes appear on his shoulder and two large ones on his arms. He then looked toward the sky and roared. It snapped Tsunade out of her session that she was having. He then rushed towards her. Tsunade dodged, but his whole feet tore the ground apart. He then sliced towards her. He was aiming to shred her in pieces. Tsunade had to cross her arm. When his fist made contact, she felt it. She was thrown back as she slammed on the ground, stopping herself. She rushed forward, so did he as their fists collided. The epicenter of their fist collision, it erupted, throwing the both of them apart. Naruto got up as he kept on transforming. He leaped in the sky. Tsunade moved as he obliterated the ground. He tore it to sunders. Jiraiya and Shizune appeared on the scene. Jiraiya was horrified as he looked towards the kid that was losing his hair, losing every part of him as he was turning into some kind of monster. This was not the Kyuubi, so this was what he was talking about. What's going on? Shizune said, as Naruto roared once again. Tsunade threw a huge boulder towards him. He tore it apart. He leaped and smashed into her as she grabbed him. She lifted him up and slammed him into the ground. However, he wrapped one arm around her waist and flipped her. The both of them crashed this time. As he was on top of her, he raised his fist. She moved her head quickly as his fist obliterated the ground. However, he kept on raining down punches. Tsunade crossed her arms until she saw her opening as she crashed her fist into his chest. He was sent straight above her. She jumped up in the air and appeared behind him and elbowed him in the back. He crashed down hard on the ground. She landed, sweat actually gathering on her forehead. Jiraiya, what is this? She yelled as she saw him. What is this, kid? As Naruto crawled out of the crater, he just seemed to be getting more and more angry. His strength, his power skyrocketing. Electricity started to gather around him. His bones started to increase. The stakes were getting sharper and longer. They were even glowing. As he roared once again, losing touch, losing control of himself. Inside his mindscape, Naruto was floating in the air. Kurama was looking at him. If you don't stop this, she will die, he said to Naruto, his words traveling to the blonde. As Naruto's eyes were fumbling under his eyelids, as he could see them moving rapidly. Haku, he said. Kid, make sure she's safe. Get out of here. The words of Zabuza rung in his ears. Run. Keep her alive. Survive. That's because we care about each other. And I don't want to lose you either. Then a certain memory flashed through his mind. As he remembered the kiss. Naruto snapped open his eyes. In the outside world, his body started to return back to normal. Tsunade had him pinned down as he was breaking her hold. When he stopped, she kicked him off of her as he collapsed. He started to return back to normal. As he started to lose all the muscles, returning back to his smaller form, steam rising from him. For a split moment, all they could see was each other. As she looked at him and he looked at her. Please, save her. His face hit the ground hard as he was out cold. Tsunade kept on looking at him. Both Jiraiya and Shizune breathed a sigh of relief to know that it was over, as they were about to intervene, because things weren't looking so well. As Naruto was knocked unconscious. Time skip. As Naruto felt movement, he was just waking up. He could feel the movement. As his arms were wrapped around someone, he was on someone's back. As Naruto glanced to realize that someone was carrying him, the white hair, he propped his gaze over towards the dark-haired woman. She was holding the pig as she ran. And towards the next side was the blonde woman that he had fought. Look who's awake, said Tsunade. Where are we? Said Naruto. As Jiraiya stopped, Naruto instantly got off his back. He was a bit shaking a bit, but he stood on his feet. We're on the way back to the Hidden Leaf, she said to him. You're coming back, said Naruto. Yeah, she said. But don't get it in your head that it has anything to do with you. But I am going to save your friend. You said that she was hurt. So are you going to stand here talking, or are we going to get back to the village? That actually brought a smile to his face. Yeah, let's go. Are you sure you can run? Said Jiraiya. You've been out of it for a while. As Naruto ran off. Damn brat, said Jiraiya as he went after him. On the other side, the Tsunade ran. Of course it was about him. She didn't know why, but his words and the final words, it touched her soul. She didn't know why she wanted to help him, but she also felt useless once. She also felt desperate once. She felt like she was alone. She felt broken and alone. To know that the person that you care about in the world, the person you care so much for, would die, and there wasn't a damn thing you could do about it. That was her in the past. But now she had the ability to change that. She could help this kid. And if she did not try to conquer her fears by going back to the Hidden Leaf, his friend would die. And she saw that part of him would be forever gone. And he would end up just like her. Someone that go through life with no meaning, no purpose. Someone that is lost. And she just did not want that. And besides, Jiraiya had told her who he was. She did not know the full story, but she was told who he was. But she had already considered to go back already. Time skip. Harrison was rather shocked as he heard that the group had returned. That was quicker than expected. They did not come to his office, instead they ran straight towards the hospital on Naruto orders. As Tsunade and Jiraiya had made their way there, with Tsunade and Naruto in tow. Everyone was shocked. All the doctors were rather surprised as they saw the boy. And then they saw the greatest medic that ever lives. Tsunade stepped in the room as she immediately took charge. All the poison had been completely drained from Naruto's system when he had fully transformed. So she was coming into this new. As Naruto was told to wait outside, he seemed like he was about to blow his gasket, but she turned towards him. If you want me to save her, stay here. This is delicate work. I do not want you to intervene. He seemed to struggle with the concept of not stepping inside, but eventually he backed off as he sat down in the chair. Jiraiya sat there as well. Calm down, kid, said Jiraiya. She's the best medical ninja in the entire world. If anyone can save her, she can. As Naruto merely lowered his head and closed his eyes, not replying to the Sannin, hours went by as Naruto's feet was digging a hole through the ground because he kept on tapping it and it had broke through. Jiraiya decided just to leave him as is, as he was not causing a ruckus nor was he losing control. Tsunade finally came outside. She was exhausted. So was Shizune. Naruto immediately got up. That poison was very deadly. It was probably the most deadliest poison I ever witnessed in my entire lifetime, she said. And that's saying something. However, she's gonna be just fine. All the weight from Naruto's shoulders seemed to just vanish. As he looked at her, a face filled with relief. Tsunade smiled. As Naruto stepped forward, she's resting now. She's gonna be okay. Just allow her to sleep. Her body has been through a lot. The poison was trying to destroy it from the inside out. So you're gonna have to let her sleep this one out. It's fine, said Naruto. I'll simply wait here until the time. Tsunade looked towards him and decided not to question it. What do you want? Naruto said. She looked at him confused. You did this for me and now I owe you. I don't like to owe people. So whatever you want, I'll do it, he said to her. Is that right? She said to him with a smirk on her face. Well then, I guess you owe me one. With that she started to walk away. I'll let you know when I'm ready. As Naruto sat down. See, I told you, kid, said Jiraiya. Yeah. You were right, said Naruto. Time skip. Haku stirred as she was slowly waking up. She could feel someone holding her hand as she looked down, but she could already tell who it was. The rough callus and how strong his hands were. She glanced over as Naruto was leaning back, his gaze looking towards the door. Her finger twitched as he snapped his gaze towards her. She smiled. Naruto, she said. I'm alive. Yeah, you are, said Naruto. And we're safe. Everything's okay. She seemed so relieved. She thought that she would die. That man told him that his poison could not be cured. And it was the most deadliest thing to mankind. So she thought that she would die. Did Zabuza-sama make it? She said, knowing how badly he was. Naruto looked away. Tears appeared in her eyes as they started to run down. She cried silently. As she cried, however, Naruto held her hands for comfort. As she cried it out, I promise you, Haku, next time I'll be stronger. And I'll find them. I'll find them all. And I'll make them pay for what they did to Zabuza. I promise you, he said. She nodded, trying to clear her tears away, to know that she just lost her master. But she could tell that Zabuza-sama was in a worse condition than all of them. Those people came out of nowhere, and their strength was far superior to them. And they lost. And Zabuza-sama was gone. As Naruto stayed there quietly comforting her, it was what that she needed in this time. Time skip. Hiruzen Sarutobi looked through the little window that was on the door as he saw Naruto helping Haku. Her body had been completely messed up by the poison as she was regaining her mobility, little by little. It was coming along well though. They literally had to force Naruto to, well, do normal things. Haku had been the one who told him to go and take care of himself as well, as he went and go and get a shower. However, his style of clothing was not optional. He did not like to wear any shirt. However, the fur around his neck was extremely dirty. They had to get rid of it. So now he was shirtless, until he placed on a shirt that they got for him. Haku was surprised. However, Naruto did not want the hassle with the people, nor Haku to be worrying about anything, so for the first time since a long while, he just put on a shirt. And he did not really care about that. The only thing that he wanted was for her to be safe. In the time that they spent together, they had bonded and grew together as people. And Naruto cared so much for her. He did not even fear death, but he feared the thought of losing her, which he almost did. It was terrifying, as he said. As Hiruzen looked over towards Tsunade, did you think about my offer? Tsunade looked away. I told you I needed some time. Alright, he said. But given the fact that you're still here, Shizune also seemed to be doing very well. Hiruzen had offered her to take over the, well, hospital. And she could also start the program that they could not start during the Third Great Shinobi War. She wanted to place a battle-ready medic with every team to lessen the amount of deaths. However, she wasn't so sure. When she was coming here, her only thought was to save this kid's friend and then return on the road. But Shizune was doing so well here, and things were actually getting better for her. She was confronting her fears, something that she thought would terrify her when she saw them, that being the village as a whole, but it wasn't so frightening as she thought, and Shizune was really happy. He was right about that. So she did not know. Maybe she should stay here. As she released a breath, I'll give you my answer by the end of the day, she said. Hiruzen seemed pleased with that. Let's talk about the kid, she said as she looked forward, looking inside. How the hell was he missing for 7 years, she asked, looking towards Hiruzen. He ran away on his own volition. But that was partly my fault as well for not being there for him. But all I can say now, he's back. I am not sure to this day what happened to him or his friend, but I can safely say that Zabuza is dead. What? Zabuza? You mean Zabuza Mamakai, one of the 7 swordsmen of Kiri? Exactly. I got a report not too long ago that he was with him, when another team had been sent on a mission but they failed to bring him back. He was with him along with this girl. Kakashi was able to confirm that. They were attacked somehow though, by who I don't know. As you can see, Naruto is very powerful. From what Jiraiya told me that he went toe to toe with him. Yeah, and the brat's strength seemed to just be rising. So I'm surprised that someone was able to take him out. Well, in the state that he was going into, he seemed to have no recollections of foe or enemy. He seemed to just be mindless. I presume he did not go fully crazy while he was fighting these people. Otherwise, the match wouldn't have ended so easily. His strength was reaching higher levels that even I had to increase myself against a kid, just to show you how strong he was. Even though I wasn't going all out, the kid was getting stronger and stronger. There seemed to be no end. Jiraiya said that he was a special case, but he don't have the full specifics behind it. He also told me who he was. Jiraiya thought that he was speaking about the 9 Tails when he said that he was losing control, but it's not that. Yes, Kakashi had told me. He turns into some kind of monster. Yes, a very powerful and strong one. It's a good thing that he was able to regain control. Otherwise, there's no telling to how stronger he would have gotten. Said Tsunade as she looked towards him. He was so peaceful right now. So happy as he helped the girl. Walked around the room. I guess you have your work cut out for you, she said to him as she started to walk away, trying to convince me and him to stay as well. Surely a difficult task. With that, she proceeded to walk away, leaving him. Harrison just looked inside towards the boy that seemed so gentle and kind with her, and yet he could be so dangerous and daunting as well. He was bold enough to threaten him, the Hokage of the Hidden Leaf, about causing mass mayhem and destruction, and killing everyone as well. Even though Jiraiya had told him that he did not believe that he would be able to control himself if he lost her as well. So that was really bad. But she was doing okay now, and she's expected to make a full recovery. Time skip. Naruto stood in the Hokage's office. What is it? Said Naruto, as he was looking at the old man. Tsunade was in there as well. He did not respond to her or say anything to her though. I want to talk to you about you leaving the village. What about it? Said Naruto. You said that you intend to leave once she is fully recovered. Did you? He asked. Yes, I do. There is nothing for me here. Besides, I have to hunt down those bastards and make them pay for what they did. I can't allow you to do that. You can't allow me, said Naruto. Yes, exactly what I said. I will not allow you to do that. There are some dangerous people out there. Do you want to put Haku in a situation like that again? I'll be stronger next time. Yes, you will be. However, as you can see, her body is not as strong as yours. You got lucky this time because you were able to reach here in time. What will happen next time? He said. Will you allow her to die? She's not going to die, said Naruto, if I have anything to say about it. Well, stay here instead, Hiruzen said. This place will be safe for you. Safe, huh? The last time I was here, I was bullied. I was picked on. I was attacked by mobs. I was attacked. They tried to kill me because of something that I had no control over. What the hell do you think is going to be different this time? Well, I know. This time if they try, I'll tear them apart with my bare hands. And if any of these villagers try to harm Haku because of her association with me, they would wish that they were dead. I can solve that easily, Hiruzen said, by making you a shinobi of this village. Then you will be safe from even the people inside, because of past grudges that I believe will no longer reflect on you once they see you as a hero of this village. And why should I protect people I don't give a damn about? Harrison opened his mouth. However, Tsunade spoke. You owe me. Naruto turned towards her. What? I said you owe me. Wait, why the hell would you want me to stay here? Are you? Yes. I've decided to remain in this village. And you said that you owe me, and I could ask for anything I want. So, you owe me, she said to him. And that is what I want you to do. To remain here and fight for this village. And to keep you from going out and getting yourself killed. Naruto looked at her. Damn it, he said. He started to walk towards the door. Fine. I'll talk to Haku about it, but if she doesn't want to stay here, we're not. You're gonna have to ask for something else, Naruto said, looking towards Tsunade. With that, he left. Don't worry, Tsunade said. I doubt she will want to leave this village. I've spoken to the girl. Hiruzen looked towards her, as he breathed a sigh of relief, as he did not want to forcefully make Naruto stay here. But he could not allow him to leave like that ever again, even if he had to use force. So this was a better alternative. The next thing we have to find out is, who the hell did he go up against? Said Hiruzen. Exactly, said Tsunade. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see next part and do, like, subscribe, comment down below and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And don't forget to go ahead and check out the other channels. Yes, I need 5 of them, guys. This makes 5. And making 2 and making 3. Prince and Symbol, guys. So go ahead, check them out, and yeah, enjoy. And I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. So yeah, without further ado, or wasting any more time, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.